Okay, welcome back. In the first tutorial I showed you a quick and dirty method of drilling or removing a cylinder from another cylinder at an angle other than 90 degrees. And as I explained, it's not a particularly accurate way of doing things. In this tutorial, hopefully I'm going to show you a more accurate method, but because, as I say, FreeCAD is still in development, I've been finding it a little bit hard to do that. I've had a bit of an experiment, and so just bear with me if I seem a bit lost at any point. But it's been quite difficult to get my head around. So let's get cracking on it, I guess. New document, part design, same as before. Create a sketch in the XY plane. Circle. Radius 40. I think in the previous tutorial I was calling that the diameter, so apologies, it's actually the radius. Set the center of the circle coincident with the origin. Exit the sketch. Pad the sketch. 200 mil. Now, the idea is the second cylinder is going through at an angle, and we want to define the position of it accurately in terms of this first cylinder. So I'm going to need to create a sketch with some construction geometry. So I'm going to create a new sketch in the XZ plane, which is perpendicular to the XY plane, as you can see there. So it's perpendicular to the defining plane for this cylinder. So I just add a bit of construction geometry. Hopefully this will pan out and you'll see what I'm trying to achieve. So just sort of bear with me, and hopefully it'll all become clear shortly. Make that coincident. Put an angle there. So this first dimension, this angle, is critical because that's going to define the angle which the cylinder goes through, that the second cylinder goes through the first cylinder. So you can imagine the second cylinder going in this sort of direction through that first cylinder. So you want to set that to the angle that you want. Let's make these two perpendicular. That point coincident with that line. I'm going to set that to 30. I'm going to try and be consistent with my dimensions so that I know, without going back into the sketch, I know the dimensions of most of the lines. Now, the second critical dimension is this one, which that's going to determine the height from the base of the first cylinder, the height of the center of the cylinder, the second cylinder. And then the third critical dimension is, we know we made this cylinder radius 40, so if I make that minus 40, then this point is coincident with the outside of the first cylinder. I'm just going to set that to 80 just so I can see what I'm doing for now. I'll make all three of those construction lines. Now I want to have a 3D shape, so I need something that I can pad, that I can turn into a 3D shape. So I'm going to add some more geometry for that. Okay, I've over constrained it. And again, trying to be consistent with my geometry, I'm going to make that 30. Make those lines parallel. Now, let's see. Yes, I'm going to set that to 0. Oh no. It doesn't like that. Okay, I know what I can do. Right, yes, okay. 30 again. Oops. Let's make these 2 points coincident. And then that one can be 60. Okay. Let's give this a try. So I'm going to pad that. Right, yeah, just 10 mil. Oh, I know what I've done wrong. Let's go back in here. Forgot to set that back to 40. That's better. So if I just go back into that sketch again. Now I need to put a circle so that it pads into a cylinder which goes in this direction through the center of the through this first cylinder, with this point is well defined, and by that I mean the angle here we've defined and the height we've defined, and it's coincident with the outside of the first cylinder. So I select this face and select Add Sketch. Now that puts a sketch on that face now, and if I just hide the first cylinder, we can see we're orientated with this sketch. So the center of the circle needs to be along this origin and coincident with this line. So I'm going to make it radius radius 20, so that's half the first cylinder. That dimension is easy. This one is not. To be honest, I'm not going to waste any more time on this video actually, so I'm just going to position it roughly. I'm sure there's a way of doing this, but there's a way of measuring. Actually, hold on. I'm just going to give this one try. So I'm using the measuring tool there, the measure distance tool. So I've just picked 2 points along that line. Now I can select the distance tool, go into data, and look at point 1 and point 2. I'm interested in the x value. So it's saying it's minus 64.57. No, there's going to be a problem with this. Minus 64.57. Let's go back into that sketch. Maybe. That might be right. I'm really not sure. Like I said, I'm not going to waste any more of your time here. I'm just gonna crack on. So that's that circle done. Now I can just select that, pad it, 200, and then to finish up, it's the same as before. It's a Boolean operation. So if I go into Part, select Boolean operations, and I want to do a difference, and I'll do the pad, which is the first cylinder, and the final pad, and fingers crossed, yeah, that's worked. So there you go. I mean, that's most of the way there, apart from I failed to define the position in this direction of that circle. Like I say, if I had more time to work it out, I'm sure there's a way of doing it, but I'm really not gonna sort of spend much longer on it. Now I expect as time goes on that FreeCAD, as it gets developed more, that will be better equipped, say, to do something like this. But I hope what I've demonstrated here will give you some flavour of how it's capable, or how you can define things in a different way. E.g., if you use a construction sketch and even a construction object, you can sort of do more complex operations with Booleans. So I hope that's been of some help. Like I say, leave me any messages you want on my videos, and have a go for yourself. Have a play around, see what works for you.